Okay, a little video here about the ACLS guidelines. Hopefully I get all this right. Trying to learn as best I can. So first of all, you come across somebody and you have to assess whether or not they have a pulse. If they don't have a pulse, then you need to go down here to CPR. And CPR essentially, you need to assess whether or not they have ventricular tachycardia or ventricular fibrillation as opposed to pulseless electrical activity. Both of those cases will receive 2 minutes of CPR followed by a pulse check, rhythm check, and then a shock, and also giving epinephrine, and then another 2 minutes of CPR, and then in the case of ventricular fibrillation or ventricular tachycardia, you don't give the epinephrine every time. You do epinephrine, and then you do amiodarone, and then you do epinephrine, and then you do amiodarone. So you go 2 minutes epinephrine, 2 minutes amiodarone, 2 minutes epinephrine, just kind of follow that pattern. Whereas in pulseless electrical activity, you give epinephrine, and then you don't give anything, and then 2 minutes, and then you go epinephrine, and then you go 2 minutes, and you don't give anything, and then you go 2 minutes and epinephrine. Follow that cycle that way. I was remembering to do the pulse, rhythm, shock, all that. So what if you come across them and they do have a pulse? Well, you need to see if they have an arrhythmia. So if they have an arrhythmia, let's say they don't have an arrhythmia, well then it's probably a sinus tachy or sinus brady. We won't worry about that right now. But if they do have a rhythm, then you need to wonder if they have symptoms. Okay, so if they don't have any symptoms, but they have an arrhythmia, then you can give them IV fluids and oxygen and put them on a monitor and see if, how they're doing. You don't need to go much further than that. So if their arrhythmia is AFib or aflutter, and they, don't have a congestive heart failure, then you can give them beta blockers or a calcium channel blocker. But if they have AFib and they have congestive heart failure, then you need to give them digoxin or amiodarone. So if of course they become unstable, you need to shock them. So in this case, going back up here, where I said symptoms, right here where I said symptoms, yes, symptoms, then you wonder, are they stable? So if they are stable, then you have a little bit more time to work with them here. So stable, and you look at their rhythm and it's fast and wide, then you give them amiodarone. If it's fast and narrow, then you give them adenosine. And if it's slow, then you give them atropine, and then you may need to pace them. Okay, so I got that. So fast and wide, amiodarone. Think of an odor spreads out widely across the whole room, but it does so very fast. So amiodarone, so odor, fast and wide. Whereas fast and narrow is adenosine, the other one. Okay, so then not stable in this case, you need, this is defined as like systolic less than 90, short breath, those kind of symptoms. If it's fast, you might need to shock them, and if it's slow, you may need to pace them. So hopefully I did that correctly. If I didn't, I apologize. Hopefully that'll be helpful for you, kind of laying it out.